Hey guys, this is my Ring of Honor review from the episode that aired on October the 15th. There we go. October the 15th, 2011. And let's get right into it. Show starts off with Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness in the ring as they preview tonight's show, which is this episode. Well, you know what? I'm going to stick with it. With tonight's show, which is a double main event. The Briscoe brothers against the All Night Express, and Michael Elgin against Eddie Edwards. Now, they played an interview with the Briscoes before the match, and they talked about how when Kenny King and Rhett Titus were getting in the business, that they'd ask the Briscoes to take their bags and, ask for autographs and stuff. And they were saying how they were much tougher than the All Night Express, and how they get up, at 5 in the morning to go into the chicken house where it's 100 degrees, pick up dead chickens and all that stuff. And it's really good. And then the All Night Express have their little segment, and Red Titus talks about how every time he goes to the bathroom in the morning and he brushes his teeth, he sees the scar on his forehead that reminds him of what the Briscoes did to him and in their many fights. Now, this match is #1 contendership to the Ring of Honor Tag Team title. And this was an okay match. I liked the ending, though. At first it was a little spotty, the spot fests. And then the Briscoes took advantage for a good couple minutes, beating down on Red Titus. And then Kenny King got the hot tag, and, they all four went at it. Now, the ending of the match, like I said, it was good. I liked the ending. It was controversial, but it was good. What happened was Mark and Red Titus, they're fighting over the announce table where Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness are. Now, the referee is distracted. Meanwhile, Kenny King and Jay Briscoe are over in the corner. King does a flip. He's about to jump and hit a move when Jay kicks him low. And then Jay rolls him up in a small package. 1, 2, 3, the Briscoes win. Now, during the match, or the post-match celebration, King is telling Titus what happened, and Titus goes to the referee. He's like, he kicked him in his balls! He kicked him in his balls! Ref, he kicked him in his balls! And, the Briscoes are like, no, we didn't do it. So Titus fought both Briscoes, and then security and referees had to come in and had to break it up. So when we come back from commercial, Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness explained that they saw the replay, and it was clear that, in fact, Jay did commit a foul. So, and I'll get back to that a little bit later. So now it's time for their Focus On segment, and they focus on Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, wrestling's greatest tag team, at this time, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And they talk about how the Ring of Honor fans are some of the most knowledgeable fans in the world, and how the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles are the most prestigious tag team titles in wrestling, and how they want a piece of the Briscoes and how they want to kick their ass, and they talk about all the accomplishments in high school and college that Haas and Benjamin had. So after that, Kevin Kelly is interviewing Jim Cornette. He's in the aisle, and Cornette said that he talked to all four men and the officials. He determined that the referee's decision is final. The Briscoes won the match. However, he is taking away their #1 contendership, so right now there is no #1 contender to the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles, and if they don't like it, they'll just have to deal with it. So the Briscoes win, but they are not the #1 contenders. None of them are #1 contenders. So now we go into the Inside ROH segment, where the focus is at first on Truth Martini and how he is a life intervention expert, and how he has led Roderick Strong to the Ring of Honor World title, and then he talked about Michael Elgin and how far he's come, while some of the other guys are saying he's full of shit and and it was a good segment. It was a good way for those fans, who don't know who Truth Martini is, to introduce Truth Martini. And then they talked about Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. Would they like to do one more match? Edwards, said that, he would love to have another match, and Richards was saying how they're both fighters. They will always be on the hunt together, and that was really good. But in a way, it was good because you know that there isn't any tension between the Wolves. And then the other half of the double main event, Michael Elgin against Eddie Edwards. For the first couple minutes, it felt slow. I was starting to feel a little disappointed in this match, and it really picked up towards about the last 5 to 7 minutes of the match. Eddie Edwards knocks Elgin to the floor, and he hits his trio move where he gives him a knee to the back, then a running kick to the back, and then he dives through the ropes. And, the dive is so good, and Elgin falls back so much that the barricade breaks, and 4 fans in the front row sit down because of it, and it's absolutely awesome. You have to check it out. And then there was another spot towards the end where Elgin was trying to back suplex Eddie Edwards onto the apron, just like, Roderick Strong had done to Davey Richards the week before. But Edwards, flipped over the turnbuckle, landed on his feet on the apron, knocks Elgin down, does a double knee, or a double stomp. And then towards the end, and I have to admit, I was upset about this. During your main event match, you plug your website. Now, I have no problem with that. Here's my problem. You cut away from the match. Whatever we were watching, you just all of a sudden put up the ROH Wrestling website, the commercial, or part of the commercial. And that made me so upset because, let's say this was the first time I was watching this. And, I want to see the match, and I'll go to the website, but I don't want to see the website being promoted, over the match while it's going on. If they did it where it was bottom of the screen, where, something like WWE usually does, or TNA usually does, I had no problem with that. But you don't take the whole screen to promote your website. And that really was something that really, ticked me off. The end of the match comes where Edwards tries a lariat, Elgin ducks, hits him with a lariat, 1-2 no, they fight back and forth. Edwards tries to hit his finishing move, the Die Hard. Elgin reverses it, gets him into a buckle bomb. Elgin tries for a move, Edwards moves out of the way, hits Elgin with the Die Hard, 1-2-3, Eddie Edwards wins. Now, after the match, Roderick Strong comes from the back. He goes face-to-face with Eddie Edwards. And then Michael Elgin gets up. And it looks like it's going to be a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 attack when Nigel McGuinness takes off his headset, goes into the ring, stands next to Eddie Edwards, takes off his coat and his glasses like they're going to fight. And that's how the episode ends. Now, this episode, I got to say, was mediocre at best. Only because, the second main event match until the last 5-7 minutes really wasn't that much. The first main event match was okay. And, they did a good job with the segments about Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team and Truth Martini. And, it's like I said when I have reviewed Ring to King in the past. There are going to be times where you have good episodes, you have meh episodes, and you have bad episodes. This one was a meh episode. And, and not every show can be, a head out of the park kind of show. And this one is not one of them. But, hopefully, going on, the show will get much better. This was the last episode, by the way, that was filmed in Chicago. The next set of shows are going to be done in Louisville, Kentucky, in the OVW territory. So I'll definitely be interested in checking that out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the 4th episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling.